Good evening, good evening, good evening, guys, and welcome to Empowerment Reckless Podcast. I am Toya, and tonight we are speaking on gender identity. This has been a real big topic lately for the past couple of years. Just about gender identity, about identifying with a certain sex and things of that nature. So that's what we'll be talking about tonight. Thank you, ladies, Ashley and Diamond, for joining us tonight. How are you guys?
Doing great.
Great.
Thank you.
For asking.
She said, "Thank you for joining us." Like, we here with you,
for
right?
asking.
But we're doing great tonight. We're doing really, really good tonight. We just had to
It's
crack
been a
me
long
up
day. It's been a
some
long day.
jokes tonight. Right? It's Sunday. It's the day before Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day to anybody that does celebrate. If you do, you do. But make sure you spend it with your loved ones.
As they say.
Yes,
Are you guys
happy
doing
Love
anything
Day.
special?
Don't they say every day should be Valentine's Day?
Every day,
Yeah,
if
every
you
day is
are
Valentine's Day.
right, if you are in a great relationship and it just doesn't matter when it's Valentine's Day, I feel like every day your partner should receive, not every day like that, but regardless of the date.
Right.
Y'all got any big plans tomorrow?
I do have a date.
No, regular.
Oh, okay. I know Toya has a hot date tomorrow. She already told me.
I do have a date. I haven't had a
Ooh.
Valentine in years.
Make sure you spill
so-
the tea.
Huh?
I said, make sure you spill the tea when it's over.
Yep, that's right. So let's go ahead and get into this because we're not gonna talk you guys head off tonight. We usually been keeping you guys for like an hour or so. But it's Sunday, so of course we want to enjoy family time as well too. So we're gonna go ahead and get right into it. So what is gender identity?
For me, the easiest way I can make sense or terms of it, I guess I would say trying to figure out the sex you want to be, whether you identify with female or if you identify with male, or as they say, non-binary. I guess you're neither one.
Mm-hmm.
Um, years back, it was nothing like that. It was just you're born a boy, you're born a girl. That's
Mm-hmm.
it. You were gay, you were straight, you were bisexual, um, trans, but that wasn't as known back. It happened back then because I watched shows about it, but it wasn't. I would hate to say it. Popular back then.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, don't kill me.
Yeah.
Um, it wasn't very popular back then, but now
Mm-hmm.
it's just left and right, right and left, and yeah, that's just how I see it.
Well, agreed. That's what gender identity is.
Yeah, one's own gender, like she said, basically.
Mm.
However they classify themselves.
All right. So, with that being said, now that we understand what gender identity is, there are about 7 types of gender identities. Now, with time changing and things of that nature, it's probably most likely more than that, but we kind of had dove into like the basic of the 7 genders. And do you guys know the name of them?
I sure
Okay, well, I'll
don't.
go ahead and I'll go. So it's female, male, trans, non-conforming, personal, intersex, and eunuch, which is spelled ENUCH.
I've heard of that. I have
Yeah,
no
that
idea
one
what
is
it
when
is.
Oh, I never heard of that one.
a person changed from a male to a female, not because of they wanted the sex change, but because of their religion reasons within themselves. So it's a
Oh,
different. Yeah. Yep.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
What religion allows that?
Right, I was a little
No,
confused.
it's a religion within themselves.
Oh, so
Oh,
it's no
okay.
Right.
religion, it's the religion they made.
Yeah.
Got it.
Exactly. Yep.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Got it.
Yeah. So that was pretty interesting because I would have thought that was just what is the name for someone that changes from a man to a female? Transgender, right?
Transgender.
Transgender. Yeah, when a
Okay.
man transitions to a female and a female transitions to a male. Since we're on that topic, we could talk about let's talk about uh transgenders for a second because it's been a lot of controversy
Mm-hmm.
with that in itself, you know, um if you don't agree with what they do or whatnot, then they want to call you transphobic and stuff like that. We don't have to agree with what
Mm-hmm.
they
Mm-hmm.
do, but we don't have to bash them, neither. But just because we don't agree does not mean we're like transphobic. The whole
Mm-hmm.
situation that came up with having trans people in the you know bathrooms and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. They have their own bathrooms and stuff like that. It's very touchy because you have kids, and then you don't, it just got way off topic. And then when people try to speak, their opinions or their beliefs and stuff, they just get dragged for it and want to be called, transphobic or homophobic and stuff. And I don't think that's right. I really don't. I really don't think that's right.
Right. You said so with the transgender, they're called what are they called?
They're called transgender.
I think she said they're just they're transphobic. Is that what she said?
And so if they say we don't agree or something, they'll be like we're transphobic, which means phobia is always something that you fear or you hate. So
Mm-hmm.
the, they call us straight people or whatever people transphobic if we don't like agree to what they have going on and stuff like that. I
Mm-hmm.
know y'all be reading the comments on the shade room and stuff. It just be ridiculous sometimes how these celebrities be getting dragged and canceled because they said something 80 years ago
Mm-hmm.
and people are bringing it back up. Perfect example, Adele went to this non-gender award show. I don't know where it
Mm-hmm.
was at, but she won an award and she said basically she loves being a female artist and she loves
Mm-hmm.
being a woman, and they dragged her for that because they offended people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a woman. That's what she is. She's a natural born woman. So how does she offend you? Like it gets to a point where it's ridiculous because us as real women, the blueprint can't
Mm-hmm.
even rejoice in our own natural womanhood because it's so many people or transgender, as I would say, they get offended. I was born a woman, so I can rejoice
Mm-hmm.
if I'm a woman or not. I That makes no sense to me. And I just feel like they're trying to erased real women. That's how I feel, and I don't care who get mad. I just feel like they're trying to take away real women everything because how are y'all mad because she says she's a real woman?
So did they
Mm-hmm.
bash her because, like you said, it was a non-gender party, and maybe because she said it, people
But
may
but
classify
y'all gave an award to a real woman. She doesn't
right.
identify
So
with
it's because some
non-gender.
people have insecurities and they're trying to identify exactly what they are.
That's not her fault.
Mhm.
But she doesn't identify as non-gender. So
Right. Well, I'm speaking on like those that may have been in the audience or critics or anything in that
why get
nature.
offended because somebody says they're a real woman? That hurts your feelings?
Mhm.
If you're going to be a woman,
Clearly.
take everything that come with it.
Yeah, I think it's for. I mean, it's like everybody has their different input on this gender identity, sexual orientation, and things of that nature. I do feel like for me, a lot of people do take it a lot far, like going to the extent, like certain things with the baby. Now, I'm not gonna lie, he was disrespectful on some things. I didn't see the Adele situation. I can just kind of talk about the baby situation, and it was the same thing with him.
Mhm.
He got completely pulled from. I think it was the Las Vegas event. He couldn't even do that because everybody was
Right.
talking about what he
Right.
said about lesbians and transgenders and things of that nature. And I just feel like I get it. It's a respect factor. I think it go. I look at it from both angles. If you're a celebrity, or even it doesn't matter, celebrity, famous person, you do have to be a little bit cognizant on what you say because at the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
that's your money.
Those are fans.
Supporting you,
Yeah.
that's your money. You gotta be cognizant. But a regular person, like, and I'm not, let me not say because they're regular too, but people that are like normal, that's not in the spotlight, famous, we don't have to just say that because at the end of the day, in my mind, I'm thinking in my head like, this is my opinion, and I can say and do what I feel. You can't get upset. If you take it personal, that's just on you. I don't have to be cognizant of what I'm saying because this is my opinion. You know what I mean? That's like if you have opinion, you say, "Oh, you don't like this person because of XYZ." That's your personal opinion. So I just feel like it goes to the extent when it comes to celebrities because it's like they're held at a higher bar because they're a celebrity. So they are supposed to make sure that everybody aligns into what they want basically because that's what they feel like, hey, we're the people and we make sure that we support you and make sure that you're basically taking care of your family. You should be cognizant on what you say. So I do agree with that aspect. Sometimes you do in that industry, you have to bite your tongue a lot. I'm not saying that you have to water yourself down, but sometimes you do. But us, we can just say have a conversation with somebody, and I just feel like it's just going to be what it is. It's not going to be no gray areas. We're not going to cut no corners because ultimately we're entitled to our own opinion.
Right.
I never
Mhm.
had an issue with. I don't care how you identify. Honestly, truth of the matter, even if we go back to like job applications. I used to be pissed off of even having that up there. It doesn't even
Right.
matter
What does it
about
matter?
about my race,
Mhm.
about my gender. What does that make a difference? Because truth of the matter, people don't want to say it like this, but when you get categorized in that box, they do pick based on that. They may
Right.
have a job that's posted and says, you gotta lift 100 pounds, but if you say you're a female, you automatically disqualified
Disqualified.
because
Disqualified.
they know that, right? You can't may not be able to lift 100 pounds, so they're gonna go with that man. So that's why I always put up there. I don't select anything, and now they have it up there where you put non-binary or they
And
don't
now
even
they
have
have
to
the
know
box where it says
anymore.
don't prefer to
Yeah,
say.
don't prefer to say, right,
Yeah.
right. So I just say, I don't even if I'm filling out an application, I don't even answer those questions. I just say prefer not to answer. If they do make me answer one, I answer one that's not me. And at the end of the day, oops, I thought that you selected that you was, and because what are you gonna say what are you gonna say in the interview? Oh, it looks like you selected transgender, but you're a female. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. My apology. So it's like, what are you gonna do? So that would really tell you what type of company that you're working for.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I am going to share. I do want to share a very specific story, and this is really kind of pertaining in the lesbian world. It's tapping into the lesbian world. So, in the lesbian world, we all know things are starting to become a lot common, and that's like a lot of people are doing like reciprocal IVF. So, let me explain what reciprocal is. Basically, you taking your partner's eggs and putting it inside your body, and um you're still doing artificial insemination. The only difference is your partner's is inside of you, and that person is carrying that child. So that's what reciprocal is. Then you have the other way, which is IVF, artificial insemination. That's just basically you're getting insemination inside of you. So with that being said, when it comes to identifying exactly what and who and how that child is going to call you, what are y'all thoughts? What should that child call you? If you know you're two moms, you're two dads, what should that child call you?
Mom.
I feel like they
Mom.
should call you mom because you are
right.
a
One could be
mom.
mommy, one could be mom or mama.
Even if one of them, let's say one of them is the dominant or the dominant role, it's still a lady. It's just still your mom. So
Yeah.
mom.
So
and dad should be called dad.
Or you could have like a nickname like Mama B or Mama A, or I don't, something cute.
So you don't think that child should be calling you daddy or poppy or whatever the case may be?
No, because I'm not a man.
No. Exactly.
Yeah, but that, I mean,
is one of the lesbian classifying themselves as a man?
it's not really. I don't think they're classifying themselves as a man. It's just, it goes back to what we said. Everybody has their
what
preference.
they identify as.
What they identify as, even if you identify as a woman, but you want your child to call you dad, I'm a little bit befuddled. I'm confused. That's a little bit of confusion right there.
Yeah.
I'm serious. Because if you saying that you're a woman, but you want them to call you dad, I don't get that. And that's just something that I'm not. I don't know. That's why I asked you guys, because I'm not 100% sure about that, because ultimately,
right. So
go ahead.
I was gonna say, right. So if the child is calling them that daddy as a young age, and then once they get older, they're gonna see something wrong with it, especially when they really realize what gender they are.
Yeah, because the kids
have confusion.
Right, the kids eventually have they are going to grow up, and these are questions that's going to be asked. And then truth for the matter, they may be on 35 identity genders, but the way the rate is going right now, we already at 7+. They probably be at 35 by the time they get around to them.
Listen, because the way it has evolved so much, and me, when I was a kid growing up, we wasn't even exposed to, any of, bisexual, gays, any of that as a kid. So for a while, you really don't even know, you don't even know what it is. And today, it's everywhere. Like now the comic books have their first gay couple. It was a first gay Santa.
Yeah, even Disney Channel.
Disney Channel too.
And then it's like, there was recently, it was like 2 first gay penguins. How are penguins gay? How? If you know about penguins anyway, the males are the one after the mom has the egg. They're like the incubator while the moms go out to give food. How are penguins gay? It makes no sense to me. Now they're plastering everything with, this is gay, this is bisexual. It's just so much in the media, like it's crazy. And then people get offended if they say, you know what, I don't want my kid learning about it, or I'm gonna teach my kid, I don't want them watching it on TV. They're like, oh well, it's straight people having sex on TV or this and that. Listen, if I don't want my kid watching it and I want to teach my kid about homosexuality stuff, that's what I'm gonna do. I don't need it on every freaking channel.
And it's only so much that you can shield a child from. I mean, they gotta go to school. They gotta go to school and get a
they just added it.
Right.
Yeah, I was watching on the news and I see that one of the I don't know if he was like a superintendent, and I know that they were saying that he felt like it shouldn't be removed. It should be classified in the schools on what the different type of genders are, because you have some kids that don't identify themselves as boys and girls. It was on the Shade Room. It was like on the news.
That's crazy.
It was like a
like,
Caucasian guy.
It's like if you don't identify as a boy or a girl, so well, shoot then.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Chinese woman.
Right. But
can I go around saying I identify as a Chinese woman?
And the thing is, all this goes back to the ancient history. Like, this stuff is so crazy, because I used to always be like, I mean, yeah, you know, you change, like, you know, you got the male, the females, and things like that. But I just used to be like, just you're you. You know what I mean? Why does it matter what's between your legs, or who? Like, why does that even matter?
Right.
That's what I don't understand. I mean, it's to the point that now, you know, I saw something that was on, what was it on? I think I was signing up for a website, and the website was like, identify your pronouns: she, her, him, they, them. I'm like, what?
A lot of people now don't like to be called. A lot of people, like Demi Lovato, she would rather now be called they and them.
Yeah, I was like,
to me, that's they and them is like plural for more than one person. Like, I'm confused. I'm confused. So you want them to call you they? Like, hey, they? That makes no sense. So when did you?
But that's on Instagram too. Like, that's on Instagram as well.
I was like, oh,
like, when did you decide?
Like, when you set up your profile.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like, when did you decide to become just not a gender? You've been a female your whole life, and then one day you woke up and said, "Hey, you know what? I'm nothing. I don't identify as anything. Call me them or they." Like, I'm really confused. I don't get it. I don't understand. You was born a female. You was born a male. And then,
well, they haven't even added all of that to, like, the LGBT. Mm-hmm. Like, I know we have LGBT, and then I know they have added the P one, the Q, or whichever one they added.
I don't even know what that Q means. Queer?
Mm-hmm. Queer, yeah. But I know they added one with the P. I think it was like, you know, a person that sleep with kids or something. I think that's
a pedophile.
What?
No, it's a different one. It's a new one, which is sick. It's sick. It's the one that sleeps with. Don't quote me. I'm about to find it, but let me find it really quick.
Because if it's a person that sleeps with kids, that's definitely a pedophile.
Yeah. Oh, and wow, let me go just to clarify on this. Unit, what I was saying, so make sure we all on the same page. It's a person that it has went from male to female. It's not anything dealing with religion. Yeah, it's male to female, but it's the transsexual, but it's not based on like the religion. It's not based on. It's something that they voluntarily, you know, choose to do based on transsexualism. That's what it is. I just wanted to make sure I clarify that and not be giving out false information. So it has nothing to do with their religion. It's just something that they choose to undergo voluntarily from male to female.
Because it will be coming down this road. It probably gonna come down mine because I mean, I feel how I feel. I'm trying to find.
So yeah, it's crazy because, you know, I just feel like ultimately with all of this, everybody should be themselves. You know, if you choose whatever you choose to identify yourself as, identify yourself as. If you choose to be male, female, I don't have a problem with nobody. I love you the way that you are. I don't care what you are and what you identify as, because at the end of the day, you know, you talk to somebody because of their spirit and how, you know, how they glowing and things of that nature. So I don't really care what you identify yourself as. You know, I just always tell people, you know, be yourself. Be yourself.
I agree too. Be yourself. I just don't feel like it should be like pushed down people's throats or you know, made such a big deal of. If anybody wants to proclaim that they're a real woman, let them do that. They have that right to. Just like you have the right to identify what you want to identify as. If I want to go around with a bullhorn saying I love being a real woman, I have that right to do that because I was born a real woman. Like they want people to respect them. Y'all should have the same respect for us if we feel how we feel about what natural, state we was born with, and we accept that. That's all I'm saying. Just respect people all the way across the board for whatever they choose to identify as.
Yeah, I agree. The only thing that I haven't in any of these situations have I ever agreed with is like things like, for example, they have them in certain states. They have all gender restroom. I don't agree with that.
I don't mean either. I don't agree.
At the end of the day, okay. So here's my feedback on that. A woman could go into a woman's restroom and could still molest a little kid, and the same thing, vice versa, a man could too. I just feel like now that you have added all three to be under one, that is more like problematic than anything ever. Like I don't care. I understand that a woman, like I said, can go in the bathroom too and molest. But now you got both angles coming in there, and you may have a child. You really can't be like, well, who is that person a pedophile? You really don't know. But if you got a pedophile from a woman and a man's end, and they coming in there, they molest a child, like that's a whole problem. That's a entire whole problem. Like I don't agree with the whole all gender bathroom of that nature. No. I feel like everything like that should be separate. I mean, truth of the matter, me personally, unless I'm on my dying leg and I'm like, I can't hold it no more. I don't use bathrooms anyway in there because I don't be trusting nobody or people that's around. So I ain't using it anyway. That's the only thing that I do not like about the situation is just that bathroom situation. That's really mainly because of protecting the kids, honestly.
And protecting even grown adults. Like,
and speaking of that,
say it again.
I was speaking on that, since you're saying pedophiles, that's what it was called. It was called
people can't see you.
Pedosexuals. Can you hear me?
Pedosexual. Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, it was called pedosexuals. That's what they had added, but they removed it because they said it didn't belong. It didn't belong in the LGBT community, and they didn't feel like it was right to specify minorities as sexual orientation.
But with that pedosexual, isn't that like, so what I understood about that was
it violated standards.
Yeah, what I'm saying is what I understood about that pedosexual is like they were attracted to children, but they couldn't have sex with the child, engage in sexual acts with them, right? That's what I understood what the pedosexual was, but then they removed it.
Either way, it's still nasty.
Yeah, it is.
There was an incident in LA.
They reject any suggestion that non-consensual. I don't know. I just felt like it shouldn't have been added. That was just too much.
It was an incident in LA last year. I think it was at a massage place where the guy he identified as a woman, but he had all his male body parts. Had a wig on. Because now, there's some of them who will say they're not transgender. They just identify as a woman and like to wear woman clothes. And, it's all, but they said they identified as a woman, had all the male body parts, wig on, but you in the female locker room with your penis hanging out because you identify as a woman, and just little kids back here with their parents at the spa. Like, why? Because you identify as a woman? So now my kid has
to take advantage.
It's right. I'm about to say it's levels to it. Like, you got to be mindful of kids as well too. Like, it's levels to it. I don't knock what you do, but be cognizant when it's kids involved. You can't be as exploded. exposing that type of stuff to kids. But people, people in their mindset be like, I don't give a damn about that kid. That ain't my kid. Like they gonna find out about it either way it goes. People think like that.
They definitely do.
That's yeah, they think like that. And to circle back, what you said about the pedosexual, that is a pedophile.
Mm-hmm.
The noun of it is pedophile.
Right,
the
right, right.
Yeah. I don't even understand why they even. Yeah, that it's still
because
the same
they feel
thing.
like
Exactly.
pedophiles have rights. Pedophiles don't have no stinking rights. Like you know what? That's another subject for another day because I will get into that.
Yeah,
It
but
won't know how to be quiet.
the LGBT community didn't agree with. They didn't agree with it though, so they was like, no, it doesn't have any business being a part of it because they don't agree with it.
Yeah, I don't agree with that either.
They said the LGBT community doesn't embrace pedophiles, and LGBT is not an acronym used or supported by the LGBT community.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, but so let me get this right. Was they trying to incorporate that with LGBTQ?
Yeah, they were. They were.
That's ridiculous.
There was some time like last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's you identify sick, you just that's sick, and I just identify with who you are, like whoever you are, and whatever makes you happy, just do it. You know what I mean? For me, it's more so respect the kids and things of that nature. I know that they're going to be exposed to it. It doesn't even have to come from you per se. They may be exposed to it in school, but I do feel like it's just respect across the board.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes the different genders, they do put a bad taste in other genders' mouth just because of how they portray things or how they may act, outside in the community or things like that. Like, and especially like gay men, they especially have it hard. You know what I mean? Because, you have men that may be down low, or you have the men that want to be a woman and may try so hard, and then they get thrown under the bus because they can't just be you have some men that's normal and still have their masculine side, and you have the ones that's feminine and that's too dramatic. So I mean, it puts a bad taste in some people's mouth.
Definitely. I definitely agree because sometimes I just be looking like
And it's crazy because it's so many gender identities. Like it's ridiculous. Like I never heard of bigender, cisgender, gender expansive, gender fluid, gender outlaw, gender queer,
gender fluid,
masculine of center. A person who uses this term is usually a lesbian or a trans person who leans more toward masculine performances and experiences of gender, masculine of center. Omnigender, a person who identifies as omnigender experiences and possesses all genders. A polygender and pangender, people who identify as polygender or pangender experience and display parts of multiple genders. They have a two-spirit, a term that encompasses different sexualities and genders in indigenous Native American communities. It's so confusing. It's so confusing. And my thought process is when a person says these things, is where does all this stem from? Is it because of we want to do trend, or is it something that as a young kid you felt like this was always something that you wanted to be done, and now that you see it's so popular and people are now being open about it, are you doing it that way? It's so many. It's so many that I have for people because I always feel like there's always a reason why people do the things they do.
Because out of nowhere. Because out of nowhere, it's like, boom, everybody's transgender. Like, especially on TikTok, you can see. That's where I've seen so many. I've never seeing so many transgender people, and I'm just like,
Right.
when did this become something? I've always known there was
Mhm.
transgender people because they have the shows on it on Netflix, Pose, and got documentaries and stuff.
Mhm.
But it out of nowhere, it's just like it is like everybody's doing it.
Yeah, because
Mhm.
trans wasn't even out back in the day. What did they called them? Drag queens, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, or
They.
are there,
Yep.
and they're still called. You know what? I think there's a difference. I think drag queens are just men who dress up in drag and perform, but their
Mhm.
everyday life, they dress up as men still.
Right.
So they just do it on the basis
Mhm.
of performing, but their
Yeah.
everyday life, they're either straight men or gay men.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but I
So
was thinking about the show Pose. They didn't
Mhm.
really classify themselves as different things. They just classified themselves as man or woman. And they all were different.
well,
It was
some of
all
them.
different type of
The black lady, I can't think of her name, but she was the tall, dark one. She had her own house.
yeah,
Um
Electra.
Electra. Now she was transgender, and you
Yeah,
remember she was dating the rich white guy,
Mhm.
and she wanted to get her
right.
operation, but as soon as she told him she wanted her operation, he didn't mess with her no more.
Yeah,
And that's
he
another
stopped. He cut
fantasy,
her off.
like men dating.
So is that Pose a really true story?
Yeah, it's about true
Yes. It's
yeah.
about yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Remember the
Yeah.
book? Do you remember the book that I remember the book that I had wanted to read about the guy Billy Porter?
Yeah, I think so.
He stars in it, and it's basically
Oh, so what
about
does
the
Billy Porter
HIV
identify
community
as?
and things.
I believe just gay.
He's Yeah, he's just gay,
Oh, okay.
but he wears feminine clothes, but he doesn't even wear feminine clothes because his fashion style is just unique. Like it's
Right.
very different.
Mhm.
But he tells you all day, like he knew from just reading some parts of his book, like he said, he knew this was him um from a young age.
Mhm.
Now, with that, I can kind of when people say they know at a young age,
Yeah.
I do I can believe that
Mhm.
because at a young age I had a feelings for liking girls. And at a young age, like, it's confusing. Like,
Mhm.
why do I feel like this?
Right.
But I didn't like boys at all. Like,
Mhm. But were you, and that's why, were you ever exposed to that, or was that just
no,
a feeling?
it was a feeling at first. I was never
Mhm.
exposed to it. Like, I couldn't tell you who would, we didn't have none of that
Mhm.
growing up. So it was just like, dang, why do
So
I feel like
what
this?
do you recall was the first? So I guess where I'm going at with that is you had to see something with two women to be like,
I
oh well, you didn't. So you didn't see it like in a book, in a show, like nothing.
I I don't know. I don't remember.
Well,
I don't
I can
remember.
say my experience. I can say my experience, but before I say that, I was gonna say, some people can become these things because number one, that's what they were grew up around in
Right.
their household, or because they have been molested or things like that,
Mhm.
and then that's the reason they turn to be those type of genders. But me, what I was about to say, I did used to sneak. My mom used to tell me all the time not to watch this show called The L Word. I don't know if y'all
Oh, I
remember
love
that.
Oh,
that
I
show.
love the L word.
And me
Yeah.
and my sister used to sneak and watch it all the time. So, back then, you kind of curious. So, I had my little girlfriends and stuff, and we used to play hide and go seek and go sneak over there and fondle each other and stuff. But that's how I knew. But I didn't really know anything until that nature. And then my mom was a lesbian, so that's all I knew. That's all I knew. But later down the line, experiencing different genders, you know, men was just not something that I liked. Even after experiencing, women was just something that I just enjoyed being with.
Yeah, and everybody, we all are entitled to that. It's just be really weird, like how things were secluded then. Now everything is just open. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. Like some of the men nowadays are looking much better than the women. I mean, I just gotta say it.
Oh
I
yeah.
Oh
see
yeah, you can't even tell, right?
you can't even tell anymore, and it's so crazy. You like, I mean, you really be having guys that be talking to whole males and don't even really be knowing. Sometimes they don't be knowing. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like they do, but sometimes they don't. But
I follow this hairstylist Lorenzo Arnold on Instagram. Bomb. Now he's a male because he, if he's not glammed up, he's his regular self.
Right.
But when he turns into a woman, out of this world.
Yeah.
Out of this world.
Mm-hmm.
There's another one, Amaya Scott or Amaya King Amaya Scott. That's I seen her first. She is flawless, Like it is ridiculous how gorgeous they be, how gorgeous they be looking.
Yeah, they be very, very attractive, and like I said, they are very, they if I would see them, I'd be like, you're beautiful. I wouldn't say you're handsome. That's a whole disrespect. You're beautiful. It is what it is.
So do y'all think that is the reason that sometimes straight men turn to trans women because they're actually much beautiful than regular women?
I feel like that's a part of it. Yeah, I feel like they do. Or it could be a fetish thing. Some people actually have a fetish, like, okay, listen, I don't want the actual man, but I want the woman portion. But if they have that part attached to them, their private area, they may like that. Everybody is different. That's like the same thing with a lesbian. Like a lesbian woman may say, because I don't understand it, but everybody has their like. Somebody say, "Oh, well, I like man and woman," and I always say, "Well, why?" It feels like it may be a lack of something that you were missing in the male aspect, because I don't understand why you want to be bisexual. Why do you want both? Why do you want both? What's the reason? Is it something that was lacking, or is that woman not too masculine for it? Like, I don't know. I don't be getting
I can tell you. I love women because they're soft. And to me, women know more so of your body, so you're gonna get those good experiences. Well, it's for me per se.
And the emotional aspect.
Yeah, you're gonna get those good experiences. You're gonna get the intimacy, because some men just like to wham bam, thank you, man. A lot of men don't even know what intimacy is. Intimacy is more than just having sex. It's just like, the foreplay, the love language, and all that type of stuff. So you get that more with a woman, because more women love intimacy. Now, when it comes to you know what, this is tricky for me, because
you get mold. Well, before
I'm
you
not
get
gonna
into that
per se I like guys 1,000%, because to be honest, I done had my fair share, and it wasn't working right. They wasn't knocking it right. Like it wasn't happening. I'm not feeling what I'm supposed to be feeling, and you're not giving what you're supposed to be giving to me. And I found one, and that's where that's at. But people, and a lot of men be like, "Oh, it's because you ain't found the right one." Trust me, I don't have my fair share, and they just wasn't. It wasn't given what it's supposed to be given, because
my men always say that.
They don't even, they don't even do anything. and we're done. Like, where's the foreplay, dog? Like,
but that's why I said that, you said the woman has that angle, but I just feel like you can also, if you are messing with a guy, you can kind of mold that person into, you know,
yeah, I
sometimes doing
understand.
what
Be like, hey,
you want to do. I mean, that's with any relationship. Sometimes you have to mold a person to sexually please you the way you need to
right.
be pleased. So, that's it. That's it. But yeah, definitely. When it, like I said, when it comes to all this gender identity, guys, look, just be yourself, be love, give love, and that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't knock somebody because they may have done something in the past. Like, people want to hold our past accountable. At the end of the day, the past
People
don't
change
matter.
every
We
day.
all right. We all have a chance to kind of grow, and we do grow every single day. So if that person said that when they was like 20 years old, what do you expect? They wasn't educated enough to know about all these different things that came across them now. You know what I'm
And now
saying?
y'all
So
demanding an
right
apology
now, right
or
now, you
want
demand
to.
an apology for something that happened years ago. Like, that's not even right. You know what I mean? But I mean, like I said, guys, and I get it in the.
But
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I am glad that special, especially for the kids say that they are able to voice themselves, because I know that sometimes they can be hard to have
Mm-hmm.
that emotion build up, because sometimes some people don't have a voice and they can't speak up, and then they
Right.
commit suicide and things like that. So I am glad
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm-hmm.
it has came out more in the media, because it has gave a lot of other individuals the voice to speak up for themselves.
I
Definitely.
mean, that's
Yeah.
true too. That's true too. I definitely agree. That's a very valid point because some people weren't able to come out and say those things without it. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's true. I agree. I agree. So guys, go ahead and Diamond take us out.
So guys, thank you again for tuning in with us on another great episode. We are already on episode, what is this, 14
14.
already?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're on 14 already, and y'all have been hanging tight with us. So we really appreciate you guys for voting on this topic for us to discuss. We really appreciate it. Y'all came through this week. We didn't forget about y'all for the rest of everyone that did vote it. So we'll have those topics later in as well. We really appreciate it. Don't forget to follow us on IG empowerment underscore reckless podcast, TikTok empowerment underscore reckless. Our email, if you have any questions, concerns, or have any topics, or need to vent about anything that we have talked about thus far, you can reach us at info@empowermentrecklesspodcast.com, and we're here to assist. So I'll let
We're here to
Ashley.
support, inspire, and motivate. That's what we're here to do. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
We're
And
open
I'm sure
to all questions.
you have something to lead with, as always.
No, just tomorrow is Monday, So that what does that mean? That's the start of a new week and a new day. Just make tomorrow great. You know what I mean? It's Valentine's Day. Don't get so caught up on what you're seeing on social media and things of that nature and
Please
get
don't, because half of them
so
capping
caught up like,
anyway.
oh my gosh, they're doing it this big this year. I'm getting depressed. No, if you feel that you're gonna always already go into that rent tomorrow, don't even sign on to social media because you're already gonna be depressed. I'm telling you now. So just don't, set yourself up, and even if you do want to sign on, just make sure that you going in there with the clear mind. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Yeah. But tomorrow, like I said, is Monday. Whatever you didn't do this weekend, get to it tomorrow. Get to it tonight. Start. You know what I mean? Like I always tell you guys every episode, just start. You know what I mean? Like Diamond said, we're on episode 14. We ain't gonna stop. You know what I'm saying? Like I want you guys to understand, all it takes is a click, a like, subscribe. That's it. You know, we ain't asking you guys for anything monetary. End of that, just support.
Go
You know
run
what
us
I mean?
up.
Right. I support anybody and everybody at the end of the day. You know, I don't care what you got going on because I respect the hustle of, you know, whatever anybody has going on. So, you know, we definitely do appreciate you guys for always tuning in to us. And tomorrow we'll be back with episode 15. You know, I'm sure Damon will probably put up like a post tomorrow or go live tomorrow. We'll probably go live a little bit for tomorrow just to kind of see who chimes in on the episodes and see what you guys want to talk about tomorrow. But if there's anything specific
I'm
that
sure I'll
you
post
guys
on
do,
TikTok. I'm trying to get them down.
oh yeah, she's trying to do the little TikToks. That's her new project that she's trying to do. You know, she's been working on it, but it, you know, that's a process. That's a process. We may look young on this podcast, but let me just tell you, we ain't telling nobody ages right now. But you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So.
Oh man.
I think I'm gonna do the so y'all look out. I'm gonna do the Hannah Montana challenge.
Yeah, she said she would do the Hannah Montana. So, you know what, guys? On that
We
note,
can practice, Bria, so I can do it with you.
Yeah. So on that note, I'm not getting in tune with that. They can go ahead and do that little Hannah Montana challenge. But yeah, guys, you guys definitely have a great night, and we will see you guys on tomorrow. Have a good night.